Hey there, Aquarius. Let's talk about what 2025 has in store for you. And this is a year where we are ready for transformation, right? Old cycles are closing down, new cycles are beginning as Pluto finally settles into your sign. Pluto, the planet of transformation. And a lot of my Aquarius friends, you've probably already felt the effects of Pluto. Pluto was a slow moving planet. It takes 248 years to make a revolution around the sun, where we take 365 days. So 248 years of Earth time is 1 year in Pluto. And so when these slow moving planets, those ones out there in the solar system that are further away, when they move into a new sign, or when they move into a new house in your personal chart, it makes a huge impact. And so Pluto, the planet of transformation, has never gone through Aquarius before. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius that they sang about years ago, right? This is it. This is where new beginnings happen, things that are more fitting for our current time frame. I could go into a lot of detail about what Pluto moving out of Capricorn and destroying the old systems that we had under our feet. I could I have done videos if you really want to dig into that, but it's done it on a personal level too. And as it's doing that for you, Pluto is a planet of death, trauma, crisis, loss, uh, transformation that comes from the losses and the surrendering and letting go of things that we no longer need, that no longer fit us. It's an amazing sign, but it does ask for us to release something. So you may very well be one of those Aquarius, especially if you're early in Aquarius, where you've already felt that push to completely transform who you are and how the world sees you. But that continues throughout the remainder of this year. So that's the baseline of where we're starting. But now let's look, and we'll kind of weave that through as we go through, but let's look at your house of finances, because I tell you what, this is pretty much the major sector of your chart for 2025. So, money and self worth and how much you value yourself. So, oh, Saturn, golly, Saturn is the planet of restriction. And Saturn takes 30 years to make a revolution around the sun. Saturn has spent the past 2.5 years in this house of money for you. What Saturn does is it makes us work hard for things. It's very long term thinking, very forward thinking. And as a result, it makes us really restricted. It limits us in what we can do. So when you have the planet of limitation in your house of money, put that together and what do you got? Some stressful situations around money, right? Absolutely. In a 30-year cycle like you may have never seen. Now, as it's leaving, as it's leaving this house, this is where the juice is really going to start happening for you to be able to have that long-term plan for finances in the future and really make some headway. Now, um, it you get a preview of what that means exactly this year, but when Saturn actually lands there for good is going to be next year. So this is going to be the year about getting the insights on how to get this financial plan around. And then all these other factors are going to be coming in a second here. You're going to see are bringing the opportunities that you need to jump on to increase those finances. The other player that's coming in there is Neptune. Now, Saturn takes 30 years to go around the wheel. Pluto takes 248 years to go around the wheel. Neptune takes 220 years to go around the wheel. So this is a very big one. And this guy, oh, so he's been in your financial house since 2011. And what Neptune does is it helps for us to dream what we want to manifest. That's on its positive side. But when Neptune is on its shadow side, it can bring confusion. It can make things feel a bit elusive. And so there may have been times since 2011 where the finances are up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it seems like every time you're starting to make some headway, you end up just treading water when it comes to finances. Now that it's finally leaving there, it is making sure that you have your financial dreams in place. But since Saturn is right behind it, Saturn is going to make sure that they become reality. Dreams that become reality in the house of finances. Let's add a little bit more to that, right? So, Now, now that these guys are leaving Pisces, right? This is where the Pisces and Virgo eclipses are happening this year. They're happening in that second house. They're happening in that eighth house. These are your financial sectors of your chart. Second house is how you make your money, how much you feel you deserve, and your self worth. Over here is you. Eighth house is the money that you owe and the debts that you owe, and the money that your partner brings in, other people's money over there. When we have these eclipses happening, they look at what is old and outdated, not working anymore. They work in these 10-year intervals, and they're trying to get stuff out of the way that's not working so it can bring something new in. This is working in your financial sector. It's looking at your beliefs around money. It's looking at your behaviors with money. It's looking at your views around money. Maybe it's part of this aspect of Jupiter moving through, oh, eh, Cancer. Good Lord. Sorry about that, everybody. Jigsaw piece. Cancer this year, this is a huge thing where it has us looking at our family beliefs that are inherited. Maybe you have some family beliefs around money, like nobody in this family has ever been a millionaire, so you could never be one. Money doesn't grow on trees, all these kind of things that really keep us stuck in this lack mentality and from getting into the abundance that we deserve. So Jupiter is also doing some things that are going to be helping with that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we're focused on the eclipses now. Eclipses are trying to bring it in, right? And wherever these eclipses are, what's known as the North Node or the True Node, and the South Node on its opposing side, they follow that. So it's been 18 years since these nodes have been able to keep up. And where they're at right now is the nodes are our soul's trajectory for where we're supposed to go now. That's the true node, the north node. Our south node is past life, past energy we're trying to move away from. And so for you, this north node is working like crazy to bring you financial stability, and it's trying to break away the karmic debts that you have so you can walk into that prosperity. That's pretty freaking awesome. I'm just going to say, you couple that with the energy of the eclipses that are trying to bring things in. You have the planet of restriction leaving. You have the planet of uncertain, well, not uncertainty, but just just like fog. It's been fog in that house of finances for you. That fog is rolling out. And you put all of these factors together, and it really creates this energy for you to be able to make an influx of cash with minimal effort, honestly, minimal effort. And the September 8th eclipse really helps for you to make any financial decisions that you need to, especially the ones for moving forward. Because I think these money making opportunities, because all of your financial sectors in your chart are getting lit up like crazy in ways they never have this year. So I think the opportunities are going to be there. The problem is going to be knowing when to act on them. So there's a lot of clarity that will also be behind it, especially that September 8th eclipse. Now, Jupiter, let's talk about that one while we're talking about money. Sixth house is what we do daily to make our money. So you've got Jupiter moving in there where it hasn't been for 12 years because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun. And when Jupiter moves into a sign, what it's doing um, is it's bringing us lucky breaks, it's bringing opportunities. Saturn makes us work for him, right? Saturn's been making you work for that money for the past 2.5 years, right? Jupiter comes on through and it's like, you know what? I just like you. You deserve it. Here's some money. Here's a lucky break. Here's the right connection. This person will hook you up. These things happen when Jupiter comes into certain things. And so as it goes through that sixth house of yours, this is where you're definitely going to be seeing um, that your hard work has been paying off. Absolutely. It starts to come through. The work that you've already put in, the blessings are going to be coming through, especially the work that you've put in the past 2 years. That is definitely some stuff that's going to be coming through because of this Mars retrograde that's happening and it's hitting these sectors where it hasn't been for 2 years. A lot of energy with that. Then on the other side, not just for financial things. Um, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to kind of throw this one in really quick. Let's say you're looking for a new job. Okay. You're like, I'm not too focused on getting my like life's mission job taken care of. I just want to get something that pays me better money and I want to raise at the job I'm at, or I just want something new. Jupiter is that planet that when it goes through these workhouses, I tell you what, that's when those lucky opportunities come through just because you know somebody, they know somebody, and they refer you. Those lucky breaks happen. This is a great thing to have there. But the other side of the sixth house, where Jupiter is trying to grow and expand you, is in that house of physical health as well, too. So if you find that you've really decided that, especially if you're that Aquarius that's ready for that transformational change, Jupiter is going to give you that ability to have the energy, to have the resources, to be able to work out, to commit to a daily plan, and to really get your health into an area that you want it to be physically and mentally. That's the great thing with that. So that's those houses. Let's look at the house of home and family. Now, I talked about Jupiter a little bit, you know, a bit ago there, about how it has that capacity to heal belief systems around family ideas around money. But that's also inherited family generational trauma, generational beliefs, things like that. This is the ability where Cancer deals with all these things, right? It deals with family, it deals with home, it deals with our childhood, our parents, our relationship with our mom, the women in our lives, all of that kind of stuff, and our emotional health. It all is encapsulated in that watery sign of Cancer. Now, when Jupiter, the planet of luck and opportunity, goes through there in this 12-year cycle, it is really opening up an opportunity to heal wounds that have been created in these areas. It's bringing to light things that maybe are hidden and repressed around our belief systems when it comes to our family, things that we've adopted that weren't even our beliefs to begin with, right? They're coming through to us and we're recognizing them and realizing them. That's what we touched on a little bit before. So that energy is already here for improvements, I guess you could say, in that area of home and family. But for you, there's another really big thing that's happening where Uranus, that takes 80 years to go around the wheel, never had been there before. Starting in 2018, it moved into your fourth house of home and family. What is Uranus? Uranus is the planet of unpredictability and unexpected things. It's the planet of authenticity. And it likes to make sure that we are in a situation that is true and authentic to who we are. Who we are now, not who we were 25, 30 years ago, whatever. It looks to make sure that we are aligned with all the correct things. So having it going through that house of home and family, you have been working since 2018 in finding the ideal domestic life, domestic living situation, finding a way to um see what family actually looks like. But there's been a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change. Maybe some of you have gone through divorces. Maybe some of you have unexpectedly had to sell your house, unexpectedly had to move, unpredictability with your living situation, not even knowing where you're going to be living or where you're going or what you're doing. Maybe it's been all of the above. And now that Uranus is leaving that fourth house, that is really freeing up this uncertainty. It's letting go of the unpredictability, and it's going to be bringing you more stability in terms of home and family in its place. You just got to come up with what the idea of home and family is to you. Who is home and family? That is what is being called now. Now, as Uranus moves out of that fourth house and it goes into the next house, that fifth house for the next 8 years, that's going to be the house of happiness and children. You may find that your children are reaching new levels of independence because that's what Uranus does, right? Your ruling planet Uranus here. It is trying to get us all to just be independent and free to be ourselves. And so you may be finding that your kids are reaching that area in their lives, that they're gaining more independence and they're moving on. which frees up a little bit more of that fifth house for you. That's exploring what actually makes you happy. This is finding that personal power. That's exploring your creativity and really getting to the root of what it is that makes you happy. When there's less responsibilities focused on the kids as they're moving on in their life, that gives you the ability to focus on you and making yourself happy. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. Okay, Okay, friends, let's talk about this. So the moon cycles are important for all of us, right? New moons, full moons, any time of the month, we can really manifest what it is that we need to do if we work in tandem with the cycles of the moon. Now, the new moon is where we manifest what it is we want. Full moon is where we let go of things that we don't. We surrender the things that just aren't working. Usually at the time of the full moon, things are crazy, right? The hospitals are full, the jails are full, because things reach a peak. Everything reaches its apex, and that's when the energy has to be released in a full moon. So that's why it's best for us to release, forgive in that time frame as well. Now, we can do that any of these months, right? But there's certain moons that are stronger to do certain things. And for you, this is going to be your Aquarius moons. So your Aquarius new moon for manifesting what it is you want, especially if you're manifesting these money goals that we talked about, if you're manifesting what your new family life is going to be looking like, what family is to you, what it's going to look like to you, all of these things. You're going to do that at the new moon. That's January 29th. You want to release things that aren't working. This year is going to surface them for you. Absolutely. You are going to be releasing those at the Aquarius full moon, August 9th. We're going to be talking next about different birthdays. Now, these are astrological events that are happening based off of actual dates. For Aquarius, if your birthday doesn't fall in here, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have any of these things happen. You may find that actually all these things happen. It just kind of depends on your personal chart. If you want to dig further into what your chart says, there's a link below. You can click on it, book a reading with me. We can go over that by Zoom and we can focus on where is Jupiter bringing these opportunities specifically? Where are these eclipses bringing new beginnings? Where is Pluto making these massive transformations? All of those things, right? We can look at that. But let's just say you're starting to really get into astrology and you really want to find something that helps you throughout the year. I actually have created a planner this year, which I wanted to do for years, but I finally did it. And the link for that's below too. That has like an astrology 101 book at the beginning of it, just a little one. It tells you opportunity periods in the month to sign contracts, apply for a job, all these different little astrological things that I've accrued over the years. But it also has a daily calendar in it where you can see what the astrological influences are. I break down what's happening throughout the entire year. Each month I break it down, and I also break down in the full moon and new moon cycles for each month as well too, with journal prompts to really help you get into it. Whatever you want to look at it, look at it. Whatever. Back to birthdays. January 21st to January 24th. Pluto, that transformative planet, right, that we talked about that's transforming who you are, is going to be aligning with your sun. You may have already gone through these transformations. You may have already let go of the things that were holding you back, but maybe you haven't. And here's this energy now. What this does is it has you committing to the changes that you are being asked to make rather than resisting them. I think that's the thing, right? When massive changes are being called upon, and that's what Pluto has us do, it's easier to just kind of bury our head in the sand and think that it's going to disappear and go away. And some of these things just won't go away. Some of them have to be released. And this is a year where those things come to the surface. Knowing that the future is better than your past is going to be paramount, right? The sooner you face these changes and let go of what needs to be let go of, the sooner you're going to be able to reveal the new you. The sooner you're going to be living the more authentic version of yourself, which in turn is going to be making you happier. With that, maybe that doesn't make other people happy. But you know what? I know for a fact it's not going to make other people happy because they're used to you being a certain thing and a certain role in their life. And if you change that, it's going to change the fabric for them as well. What we're here to do is to make our souls happy. We're here to fulfill our purpose. As long as you're not trampling all over people, right? You are doing what's best for your soul and your soul's growth. And I can guarantee you, your soul's growth doesn't include staying stuck in a situation that is absolutely toxic and horrible. Just saying. That's my thought on that. Okay, January 20th. If your birthday's January 20th, just January 20th, Uranus is going to be making a really positive connection with your sun. So you're definitely one of those people that it's a year where you are focused on change, innovation, and change. And so you are finding the real you. Authenticity is the name of the game for 2025 for you. So do what feels right to you. Everything I just said about people being upset, doubly true for you. So they're really going to look at you like you got lobsters crawling out of your ears when you're doing these different things, totally against what they've known you to do. Just go with what's right for you, right? That's what Uranus is asking you to do. It's your ruling planet. You got to listen to it. All right, January 30th to February 18th. Jupiter is making a really good connection with your sun. This is the planet of luck, opportunity, all these great things. When you have that working with you, it's like having the Midas touch. No matter what you do, you put in a little bit of effort, whole lot of faith, and miracles happen. I tell you what, a lot of progress is going to be making these dreams coming true with this minimal effort this year. This is your reaping rewards from the hard work that you put in 2024. Like I just was saying earlier, you are the epitome of that. So, Aquarius, that's everything that's happening for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.